Hello everyone, this is Crota giving you a shoutcast between IMLosirA versus ArgosZeNeX here on Scrap Station. We have Argos spawning as the Argos spawning as the blue Zerg, which is over here. Meanwhile, we have LosirA spawning as the red Zerg over here, and it is at the 12 o'clock position that Argos spawned as the blue Zerg. Meanwhile, LosirA spawning as the red Zerg. Wow, mirror matches tend to confuse me just a little bit. I was looking, I'm like, wait, is LosirA red or LosirA blue? Yeah, after I had just placed down this thing right over here just for early site information. Now, a lot of Zerg versus Zerg mirror matches are pretty one-dimensional, and they seem to be based upon Zergling into Banelings into Roaches and who's able to execute that faster, better. And we'll see if this holds true in this particular matchup here, as the Overlords are going to pass each other in the air and we'll be able to offer sight into each other's bases. Now, I would be surprised if anyone was able to effectively go for a hatchery first. Hatchery first, again, in a Zerg versus Zerg mirror match is pretty dangerous, especially when you know exactly where your opponent has spawned. It is a rather large walking distance here on Scrap Station. Scrap Station, a map that I rarely get to ever see because I do thumbs it down and I don't think it's used in high-level competitive play, but a lot of Zerg players really like it. And we are going to have, in fact, a hatchery first coming in from LosirA, so we'll see if that really works out for him, or if Argos will be able to get a lot of damage dealt with this extractor first into a spawning pool. That means the metabolic boost will be completed first, and we'll see how exactly LosirA will respond. He's also going for an extractor as well, which is a curious maneuver, just because I would expect LosirA would want to get more and more Zerglings and Queens to be able to fend off any serious attacks and aggression. You can see this one drone waiting to grow up to be a spawning pool, and there it is. The Overlords now positioning themselves in other locations as well, so they can see and have an early warning system on when additional Zerglings will be coming in. LosirA will also keep this Overlord close enough by to see if this extractor is still being harvested, and it looks like it is now down to one harvester left. It is continuing to get that spawning pool and now getting that metabolic research, as a drone now making its way over here. So a drone will grow up to be a hatchery. It will be significantly later, about 85 seconds later, but the Zerglings will be able to come out and defend that much more quickly as well. We'll see where the Queens will be coming out. ArgosZeNeX currently training up a Queen. No Queen yet coming in from LosirA, just because the spawning pool just came into play. There's the Queen now. So a Queen now finally out, and that with that one spawn larva should be able to get a lot more additional production early on. The Queen now making its way over to the backside and now trying to shoo away that Overlord. The Queen does get a decent amount of damage, so we'll see if he's able to shoot down that Overlord. No, able to get it down to 122 hit points, and that is it. Overlords now just pairing up off in space, deciding that they'll have a buddy to talk to as the swarm of Zerglings now coming in. ArgosZeNeX is the blue player, if I must remind you. If not, you can take a look at it over here. Meanwhile, back over here, Argos was able to see the Roach Warren. So interestingly enough, IMLosirA didn't try to hide this Roach Warren. In fact, put it right in the back, and Argos was able to spot it. So we'll see if Argos goes for a Roach Warren of his own. No, going for Banelings instead, as IMLosirA is now just running by with those Zerglings. The metabolic boost has now been completed, and now going after one drone at a time. Those Zerglings are pretty much on crack. They are able to move very, very quickly and just run around and perhaps get some damage in onto some of those drones. Drones now being forced to pull away, and mine, is it going to be able to take down that one drone? Yes, one drone was taken down, and down it goes. Take a look at the losses. 75 resources versus 25 so far, as this one Zergling by Argos, his days are numbered, as it does have a very limited lifespan. Is it going to try to run away? And it looks like it will be able to just run back up again, running straight into a Roach and then getting destroyed. The Zerglings are now in full retreat. Argos is in a bit of trouble, as he does not have Roaches to counter those the Roaches himself. He's going to go Roach. He's going to go Zergling Baneling against Roaches, and those Roaches are going to be able to get a fair amount of damage, as those Zerglings now simply just trying to run by and then going and seeing the Banelings as they're about to be hatched. One Spine Crawler is going to get cancelled in time. Yes, is cancelled, as the Zerglings continue to swarm around. Just 3 banelings down over here as the Zerglings are still trying to run around. These banelings days are going to be pretty much numbered. And those banelings actually sacrificed one of them, and was able to kill 4. Spine crawlers now being built as well. Needs to get more and more of them as those roaches are starting to make their way out. The Zerglings, however, are going to be able to counter those roaches based upon sheer numbers, as long as they're able to get a decent surround onto those roaches. If they're able to get a surround onto those roaches, a large amount of damage could be dealt. And now, no, just getting picked off. 2 Zerglings getting taken down very, very quickly there as the Zerglings and roaches continue to move out, and Argos deciding to just circumnavigate against the main army and now move in. There is 1 spine crawler, a couple of banelings, and Zerglings now massing up over here as the Zerglings are trying to take down units that are in transition. Banelings also being hatched over here by IMLosirA, and that's going to be really, really bad for Argos. Argos needs to run away with those Zerglings as the battle now over here. Zerglings and that 1 spine crawler down to 7 hit points, getting swarmed around. Banelings going to come in and now start sacrificing. Banelings detonating green acid all over the place as the roaches, and another baneling now trying to come in. If IMLosirA gets this pack of banelings or Zerglings, only trading 2 for 1 there, so not a decent trade. Roaches now getting destroyed, and a very fast battle here on Scrap Station. Both sides battling it out. Roaches of the red Zerg player now just fighting back and forth, and now there are going to be even more Zerglings continuing to swarm in. Zerglings now trying to battle it out, able to fight back and doing a decent wall there as those banelings are about to hatch. Those banelings, if they are able to hatch and detonate on top of those Zerglings right there, oh, that was a lot of damage there. A mistake by the red Zerg player, not realizing how close those banelings were to being completed. As soon as that baneling was completed, it got attacked by those Zerglings and then just ultimately got destroyed. So back and forth, a crazy tug of war battle here on Scrap Station as both sides try to get the upper hand. Now, this is a very, very dangerous portion of the game, but Argos is now moving out. He does have more creep being set aside, so because of that, his queen is probably able to, or is definitely going to be engaged in, or be able to engage in more locations than LosirA, and because of that, that queen has a decent amount of hit points. It does have 1 base armor, and now those banelings are now trying to come in. A spine crawler now trying to root itself over here. The banelings just in location here, and now that spine crawler is going to be able to get pick off some banelings. It looks like it will not be able to, as more banelings over here just got melted, exchanging baneling for baneling. And there it is. Zergling's now going to try to swarm in once more. There is 1 spine crawler right there, and now that red Zergling unable to cause manual detonation onto that baneling there. Just continuing to fight back and forth. Argos does have that 1 spine crawler, and as soon as he gets 2 spine crawlers in the vents right here, that's going to help him out a lot, as those spine crawlers are able to just pop a baneling before those banelings are able to detonate and not get any of that acid all over the necessary locations. Zergling's now trying to swarm in and trying to come back around, and as both sides are now just in a definite standoff now. We are going into, 2 additional gas extractors for Argos, so he is expanding double gas here. That is a very, very high amount of gas. Is he teching the tier 2? No tech to tier 2 just quite yet, so we are not going to be seeing Mutalisk anytime, as LosirA now training up 10 drones, so you're going to see a crazy number. Yeah, now up to 43 drones. LosirA is now macroing it up and doing a great job doing so, as the overlords are now trying to get into a better position. This may turn into a battle of Roach Hydra, but Roach Hydra, the problem is that banelings still deal a large amount of damage to Hydralisks. 2 banelings can take down a lot of Hydralisks very, very easily, and Hydralisks are much more expensive than Zerglings and banelings. So that 1 baneling now, or so 1 Zergling just getting picked off there. There are banelings just being positioned all over the place. The Zerglings unable to really break through this front door. That 3 spine crawler location just holding off, and now we see a tech to tier 2. So in comes that tech to tier 2. The missile upgrades now coming in as well. So the missile upgrades on those roaches will allow those roaches to 2-shot a Zergling, which will be very important. We'll see how this battle continues to play out, as both sides are now just in recovery. 52 drones versus 50. Army-wise, it is very, very close. Production-wise, we are already getting a Spire for Argos, so Argos is significantly ahead in terms of in terms of being able to get those Mutalisks, he is going to have perhaps about a minute head start. As long as he keeps up the pressure with those Zerglings, he's going to be able to get a lot of damage, as LosirA is going to continue to try to train up more and more Zerglings and Roaches to battle the Zerglings and Banelings. Zerglings now swarming back on the other side. ArgosZeNeX trying to perhaps set up more defense. There are a lot of creep tumors though, so I am surprised at how Argos is not really concerned about his own creep or the creep tumors, as opponent Zerglings are able to move much more quickly on your creep as well, allowing easier access inside your base. Roach is now trying to push their way through these sets of destructible rocks. LosirA should probably just move in closer. Those Roaches in the back, preventing these Roaches from being able to attack all these Roaches. These rocks should already be down by now. Finally moving forward just a little bit more. Down goes one set of rocks, as Overlord's now just activating that Xel'Naga Watchtower there. IMLosirA should be able to take down these destructible rocks in just a moment, but now in comes the Mutalisks. 11 Mutalisks now being trained, and that is going to change the complete outcome of the upcoming battles. We'll see. By not continuing to put pressure right now, that is going to be a very big issue, as those Roaches are not going to be able to push through into that location. 2,600 units there. You can see 30 Roaches, and 30 Roaches, no glial reconstitution just quite yet, but you do have the Baneling movement speed. Roaches now continuing to push their way in, but now in come the Mutalisks. Mutalisks now going in and dealing damage, going after the Queen. Queen already down. The Spore Crawler looks like it would have been taken down in just a second, as well as drones now in a single file line, taking a lot of Glaive Worm splash damage. Another second Spore Crawler now coming into play, and the Mutalisks doing their job, completely cleaning up the red Zerg at this stage in the game. The Roaches are not trying to push through over here. No, they are not going to push through at all. As the Mutalisks are going to finish off perhaps the Spore Crawler. No, going straightly for those drones. Drone count now down to 13 as this battle ensues. But the army wise, we now see IMLosirA still has the larger army at this stage, but there's a lot of Spine Crawlers. 13 Spine Crawlers to fend off this very, very large attack. The Banelings do deal a lot of damage towards those Spine Crawlers though, so many of those Spine Crawlers have already been taken down, as the Mutalisks now try to engage over here. Zerglings, one Baneling completely melting an army of Zerglings as Roaches continue to walk up the ramp. You can still see a lot of Mutalisks in the air trying to fend off this attack. Level 2 weapons upgrade coming in from IMLosirA, so those are going to be 2-1 upgraded Roaches. In comes the Queen. Roaches now trying to deal damage towards the critical tech buildings, but 6 more Mutalisks coming into play. Mutalisks battling it out on both sides. IMLosirA knowing that this is pretty much an all-in attack, knowing that his economy is just too far behind, but ArgosZeNEX's economy is also very far behind as well. Broodlings now joining in on that fight, as the Mutalisks, over a dozen, 15, 16, 17 Mutalisks in the air are going to be able to finish up this set of Roaches here. And now Argos is in a bit of trouble, running off of one base play. He's not going to be able to power drone. He did also lose a lot of his drones as well. So we have 19 Mutalisks versus 18 drones, and that is it. And IMLosirA says GG. So IMLosirA, knowing that his army of 0 minerals and 0 gas, unable to stop the army of ArgosZeNEX. I really like the play by Argos by putting down a lot of Spine Crawlers here. I just wish they were a bit further apart. Those Banelings dealing 80 damage splash to buildings, and when exchanging themselves to take down 2 to 3 of those Spine Crawlers could have easily done a lot more damage against those Roaches and really soften them up more. But still, a very smart move to get 13 Spine Crawlers in order to fend off what would have been a very, very devastating rush. You could see ArgosZeNEX planning out very well, knowing the outcome of the battle if he had not tried to get that proper defense up. Mutalisks, the MVP of this battle, with, I guess, Spine Crawlers being the 6th man off the bench, helping the win. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. I hope you guys enjoyed this 1v1 replay and apparently basketball analogies to, as NBA playoffs are about to start. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening.